Good day, friends. This is Tracy Brown, and my team and I of non-diet dietitians provide trauma-informed nutrition counseling so that you can feel safer in your skin. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple ways in which I see people, not just, I guess throughout the entirety of this 2 decades of helping people with food and body image issues, and two of the main causes I see of people having a hard time maybe getting their food needs met or pursuing health, not even goals, just trying to feel more thriving, basically, with movement or food, grocery shopping, eating with other people, whatever it is we tend to look at our new non-diet way of trying to pursue health through the same lens that we got into diet culture in the first place. And those two things include perfectionism and the natural, human desire to avoid all kind of discomfort. And I would say the other one is having this belief or perception that you're too much, that your needs are too much. And so we're going to break those down a little bit here today. And then in the next video, we're going to talk about, well, what do we do with all this information? It's so important and great. We have these social media memes and videos or whatever that can help you identify the problem, and then that there's another paradigm to look at these issues from a different lens. Great, don't diet and have full permission to eat and all those things. But how do we do that is a different story, and so we're going to talk about that in the next video. So today is, what do we do with the perfectionistic thoughts that you're noticing when it comes to recovery, making health, food changes, all that, is that, remember, perfectionism comes from fear. Fear of doing it wrong, fear of getting in trouble, fear of being criticized, fear of being rejected. That's the root of that, right? And not to get too deep down that rabbit hole of what happened to you and why, and you might already know that. You can journal that yourself. It's just recognizing, I think I do some of that perfectionistic all or nothing thinking here with my journey. Maybe you're doing that. So maybe today, take some time, do some journaling about where are the areas that I do that. Do I do that with the hunger fullness work? Do I do that with, maybe I've got a complex health issue, or maybe it's just a new diagnosis. And when we talk about holistic health, we are talking about trauma healing and maybe making some food changes and maybe doing some supplements and maybe getting more safe co-regulatory support, more play. That's a lot of factors, right, to help you. And you can't do it all at once. But the all or nothing perfectionistic mind will say you have to and you're supposed to. Which leads me to point 2, is that, as humans, we're not very good. We have to be trained to learn how to grow our window of tolerance towards adversity and discomfort. And I know that's hard to hear, but that's the reality for those of us who have this journey has not been easy, and I wouldn't trade a second of it, because to learn how to ride the waves of big emotion, to learn how to deal with disappointment and rejection and not everybody getting it and not personalizing that is really a lot of this. And being able to recognize that I know, even though we've been through already a lot of maybe discomfort, that there's just maybe one little more mountain to go, which is, you can name this need in us to want it to feel maybe more easeful. And we can do things to try to elicit that. But for the most part, we recognize that coming out of, trauma-based, being mentally and being mentally controlled with your food and body, is uncomfortable. It just simply is. And to be willing to unlearn and relearn, there's going to be some discomfort, and being willing to see that not as a threat. Okay. And the third thing that are challenges for people is, it's very, very common when we're young to think that the body shaming or the all or nothing thinking around food, or the food restrictions that were maybe forced upon you, whether it was physically or mentally, or whatever it is that maybe you've experienced, or just the vicarious, like people around me hated their bodies, so I thought I had to watch out for that too, even though it wasn't directly at me. Whatever you experienced, is recognizing that just because that happened in or and around you doesn't mean it's your fault or that you did something wrong to quote unquote deserve that. Because many people, I mean, I had to heal from this too, is that like, gosh, if I had just been better, I had those feelings and thoughts when I was really little, 5. I remember, if I had just been better, that wouldn't have happened to me. Or if I had just known better or done something different, then it just would have been different. And again, that's a primitive way of thinking. That's the way we think as kids and adolescents. But as we grow, we recognize like, oh, I was in that environment, but that was done around me and to me, but I wasn't the cause of that. And being able to unblend from that will help us so much not feel so overwhelmed by when we don't feel physically great. I mean, we obviously as adults contribute to either some aspect, not all, but some aspect of our sense of thriving in our bodies. But there's also some things that have just been long-standing that aren't in our control. And it's important to have that empathy and compassion as well. So those are 3 things that I see sometimes hijack our ability to feel like our hijack and create in us this belief that like, we can't do this and it's really hard. And so we're going to talk more about in the next video what to do with some of that. Today, we just want to identify the issue, take some time to do your journaling, do your due diligence here of really getting clear about maybe some aspects of this journey have been pretty on board, not so hard, but maybe other aspects have been like, I'm just circling with like self-blame and perfectionism and I don't know what to do, so why try? You're kind of spinning in a lot of that. And we talked a little bit about that last week too. So today, really identify whether it's full permission to eat or the all or nothing with movement or feeling like you can't figure out all the components of health, maybe don't know where to start, so we just don't. Identify where that's happening and what your beliefs are. And then the next video, we're going to talk about what to do. Again, I'll give you some tools going forward to what to do about that, all right? So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, these videos are usually, we like to go deeper and beyond the knowledge that there's a new paradigm to walk in your life around food and body and movement and health. But we aim in these videos to help you like, well, what's next? Where do I go from here? So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next ones. Bye for now.